Hey, good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Bam Weather meteorologist Matt Griffin here with your latest forecast update for the storm cluster getting into tonight, especially across Wisconsin. I'm going to include this video portions of far eastern Minnesota, northeastern Iowa, and portions of northern Illinois as well. I want to get into the latest data, the latest thinking here moving forward, and I'm going to move to the corner of the screen here, guys, and you can see what we're dealing with currently on the radar now. We have some of these lighter showers moving from west to east across the state of Wisconsin now. Generally should do so in a weakening fashion, although we still have some stronger storms into far northern Wisconsin ongoing now. But the main show, so to speak, is as we get into this evening, through the overnight, into tomorrow morning here. And let's get into some of the latest. Now, I will say there's some uncertainty showing up here into the forecast for Wisconsin. I'm noticing there are some ingredients such as the moisture at the about 5,000 feet above the surface. That's what I'm showing you now. There's kind of a lull of some of the better ingredients into portions of Wisconsin. I think some of those better ingredients can come into the picture as we head later into the evening. So still a rather significant severe weather threat is still on the table, especially into Wisconsin here. But there's just some uncertainty. Data's still a little bit kind of spread here this afternoon, but let's get into the latest preferred simulator radar guidance, and that's a model called the HRRR, and I don't mind its solution here of what it has as we kind of move forward here. And let me kind of go ahead and bring this out a few hours. So as I back this up, I'm going to bring this out a few hours into the afternoon. Here's a look as we get closer towards about the 6 p.m. time frame here, and again, you can see those showers continue to move off to the east, especially I would say points kind of north of Green Bay. You can still have some better storms into those locations. But notice what happens as I bring this out later into the evening, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Like I mentioned, if you're into far eastern Minnesota, you could see some of this activity creep towards you, but I think just because of the latest trends on the data, I think the bulk of the storms can stay to the east. That has been the trends, is generally to keep the storms to the east of Minnesota here. But it's going to be ever close. Don't put your guards down, I think, just yet. But you can see as I bring this out to 10 p.m., 11 p.m., the midnight time frame, these storms moving from north to south. You can see by the time we do get to about the midnight time frame tonight, areas near Green Bay, Sheboygan, stretching off to the west, kind of just south of Stevens Point, towards the Eau Claire areas. And these storms, as they really get their act together into the early evening hours towards the midnight time frame, they're going to pack a punch here. We're talking strong wind gusts. Certainly will be on the table here. I think we should expect that. Strong to severe wind gusts, 60 plus miles per hour. And some hail is going to be possible. Some tornadoes are going to be possible as well. As I continue to bring this out throughout the overnight, I think we continue to see this dive off to the south and to the east. Now, for some of you into Illinois, this forecast is rather similar to what I showed this morning. For Wisconsin, notice the lack of coverage the further off to the west we go, towards the Iowa border. Right now, data is kind of trending away from anything into northeastern Iowa, although you can see it's going to be close. It's just, a county away. There could easily be a storm or two that can creep into far northeastern Iowa, closer towards the Decorah area, getting later on to this evening. Again, this is around the 2 a.m. time frame. As I bring this out to 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and 6 a.m., we continue to see this move southeast, and you can see as we do get to the very early morning hours, again, this is 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., moving across northeastern Illinois, including areas kind of just, Rockford points to the east towards the Chicago metro area, towards Kankakee. It's going to be so close, ever so close for those areas into Kankakee before the general activity shifts off to the south and to the east. And where that data left off, I'm going to pick up with the same data I used this morning. And, for some of you folks, especially into central Illinois here, we need to be on the lookout for a resurgence of some of those storms getting beyond the lunch time frame tomorrow. You can see as we get to about the 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and 5 p.m. time frame. And then as I bring this out to 6, some of these storms across Illinois. And then you can see more focus into northern Missouri. Still favoring that now, although if we're into southern Iowa, still need to be on the lookout for it. If this front's a little bit slower into tomorrow, perhaps if you're in far southern Iowa, you can see some of this activity. So, what's this look like, guys, severe weather-wise? Here's kind of a better zoomed-in look here at the severe weather threat. We just made this map not too long ago, and this area purple, a moderate risk of strong to severe storms, damaging winds. That's going to be the primary threat with these. Certainly we need to be on the lookout for that into Wisconsin, where the greatest severe weather risk will be. Again, I think the bulk of the activity could stay just to the east in Minnesota. It's going to be ever so close. Same with some of you folks in northeastern Iowa as well. And then into northeastern Illinois. I still have a little bit of uncertainty regarding how much of the precipitation can make it down, how strong it can be by the time it works its way into Chicago. But I still think, based off some of the ingredients I'm seeing, that we can still see the storms come through near the Chicago metro area, getting into the very early hours of tomorrow, and could pose the risk for some strong wind gusts and some hail. It's still certainly on the table here, although my confidence on that is lower than normal. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's not a slam dunk forecast. Still some uncertainty as far as that is concerned here. Moisture totals with this, again, like the system overall itself, a little bit lower confidence. I don't mind the solution I showed this morning for some of you folks into Illinois. Let me just kind of bring out my drawing tool to kind of highlight the risk here, and it's going to be into kind of these areas here. I think this is going to be kind of where the greatest risk of the moisture is going to be, into these areas here I circled, where there's some data which is a little bit further to the west and includes maybe some of these areas more into eastern Minnesota, northeastern Iowa. But these areas here, greatest risk to see this trend a little bit heavier. But it definitely areas off to the east, towards Milwaukee, Oshkosh, Stevens Point, even towards the Green Bay area. These areas here need to be on the lookout where we could see 1 to 2 inches of rain, certainly still on the table here. Now, for some of you folks closer towards Madison and towards the Chicago area, into kind of these locations here, northeastern Illinois, still ½ inch to 1.5 inches, I think, can still be possible, although my confidence on that is rather low. There's some data which keeps a lot of the moisture to our north and to our east. There's some data which kind of looks more in line like this. So keep that in mind, guys. It's lower confidence in regards to those areas, but still, I think some moisture is still on the table here, and some stronger storms still certainly possible as we do head into throughout the morning hours of tomorrow. So, guys, any questions for us, any concerns, reach out to us. That's going to be kind of the best way to go through the uncertainties here into the forecast, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So, guys, in the meantime, have a great rest of your Wednesday, especially if you're into Wisconsin. Make sure you guys are safe out there. So, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll chat with you soon.